moving is horrible. It sucks. It was probably one of the hardest things my wife and I have done. We've moved before, but never with this much stuff. I mean, it's just the amount of stuff we accumulate. One of the things that was pretty hard to move, and thankful for having a great neighbor and a great friend. The safe we had a 1,000-pound safe. We moved that one. Very hard to get out. We ended up using the tractors and the pallet forks to get it out. I had a smaller, lighter safe. I just had to leave it there. We just ran out of time. It got to the point where we just ran out of time. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if you can tell right now, but it's like 90-something degrees right here. But it's quiet. I'm actually on my road, my driveway. It's technically, we're at the end of a road. This is technically a road. We're at the end of this road, dead end road. So I've had one guy come down the road today, and that was my solar installer. Guy, he sells do-it-yourself kits, and also will install, and he seems like a really, really good guy. We chatted for a while, but other than that, there's been nobody down this way. My wife and I we're pretty much exhausted from just moving. It's interesting how much you accumulate in 10 years. You just don't think it's that much stuff, and then you start boxing it. We got a bunch of banana boxes, and it's just insane how we've been filling them and filling them and filling, and it's almost like they reproduce when we turn around. It's just overwhelming. It's just I'm tired right now, so. One of the hardest things too is emptying our barn. We just had so much in the barn. Shelves had to be broken down, totes had to be taken out. Yeah, it was just a very tough thing getting the barn cleaned out in a timely manner. Just very hard, very hard, very hard. Next thing that was just also horrible to move, the side of our barn. We had rolls and rolls and rolls of fencing. I have implements. I had a snowblower, three-point implements for the Kubota tractor. I got a scraper blade, a snowblower, rototiller, a roller, bale spear. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. So I ended up having to pull it all out and then line it up, and then I moved it temporarily to my neighbors, and I'm trying to sell some of it. The tractor I'm going to get shipped. My brother's actually going to help me ship it over here. He's going to drive a truck. He's comfortable driving a truck and a trailer. And then, yeah. Gave stuff away. I mean, just literally, I had piles of lumber, 2x4s, you name it. We just ran out of time. Like, it's amazing how I was still having to work at my job, for one thing. And then literally I would come home, my wife would stop working, we would just move all night long, get up, move before work, I'd go to work, she'd work from home, and then it's just horrible. We underestimated the amount of time it would take. And it just got to the point where I was giving away lumber, giving away things, stuff of value. I mean, just giving it away. We gave away our furniture, we gave away, you name it. And we had lots of stuff. It's still amazing. Yeah, the one thing I found out about Arkansas is chiggers. Oh, good gosh. Chiggers are horrible, but yeah. The tough one was the animals. We had about 16 goats, and my wife ended up selling some of them because not all of them produced, I should say. She has her dairy goats that she milks. So she kept those and a male. So I think 6 goats total, and the rest we got rid of. I really wish this move wasn't so rough and I could have got some video of it. The guy that bought the goats, him and his son came to our property in a minivan, 2 hours drive. We loaded them in the back of the minivan and they actually ran through the front. There was like no dog divide or nothing in the minivan, just a straight open minivan. They ran through the front and jumped out the front window. I mean, it was kind of funny. And then we got them loaded up in there, and then off they went to a new farm. Unfortunately, my cats, I really wanted to bring them, but I was worried about the heat out here. You know, they weren't raised in this area. I was worried about snakes, different things that they're just not worried, you know, they weren't used to. So my niece and nephew were going to take my cats, and then at the last minute, they said they couldn't because of the new place they're moving into. Didn't allow it. So we put a posting in Facebook and different things to see if anybody would want our cats. And then lo and behold, my great neighbors, once again, her cousin's fiance had been looking for cats, and specifically he wanted 2 females that were sisters, which my 2 cats were sisters. So my cats probably aren't going to talk to me anymore because once I found out where they were going to like a multi-million-dollar horse equestrian facility. I don't even want to say barn because it was temperature controlled and very nice. So their heated mattress pad that I pampered them with is not good enough anymore. Now they're going to be in a heated barn, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, cats are... Sorry if I'm a little backlit. I don't want to be in the shade. In Arkansas now, the mosquitoes are a bit much. The bugs are a bit much, but we did make the move. We're forgetting stuff. Like our STARLINK. I hooked up our STARLINK. Yes, that was the first thing I had to do because my wife had to work, and I wouldn't be able to upload videos. So the STARLINK, I got on the roof. I took pictures of everything. I thought it was this specific tubing size, and then I get here, and then I ran into some problems. The mount that was up on our current house out here was an old HughesNet J-arm, missing the side brackets. So I was able to cobble together a mount and get the STARLINK up there and get everything working good. There's also, we have a cell phone booster up there that actually works. When I unplugged it, we lost phone signal, so it works. But what I ended up doing is this J-arm it's mounted to the building, but it's only on some sheet metal mounted up there. So it's kind of, if a heavy wind comes, it's going to rip out. So it's so funny. We had HughesNet as the first internet at our old place, and I kept the bracket and the mount for like 6 years. And literally last week, I threw it all away, took it to the dump. My wife just said, you know, throw it in the metal scrap. We don't need it. It's been sitting forever. And then when I got here, lo and behold, the first thing I noticed when I got up there was it was the J-arm missing those side brackets, which I just threw away. But you know, 650 miles away in the garbage, you know, it's like, it's just kind of funny. And then I gave away a bunch of 2x4s. I needed a 2x4. I had to run to town an hour away I had to go to Menards anyways. I went to Branson and bought some stuff, but I also bought a 2x4 because the back of our truck has a slot for a 2x4 to keep stuff from sliding. So when we run to town now, we take a cooler because it's about, to go to the big town, it's about an hour. So you can go to I can go to the 10 minutes away to the small town, but we make a trip out of it and go to the big town, Branson, and get some luxury items. We bought some ice cream, things like that. But yeah, so it's just funny how, you know, when I was talking to my dad about this move, he said, don't worry, you're going to forget it. And couldn't have said more truth than that. It's just funny. I brought a coffee and I forgot my coffee pot. Thankfully, I had my camping pour over coffee, you know, Stanley coffee set, so I can make coffee, you know, just cowboy style coffee. It's good though. I mean, it's a totally different pace of life out here though. It's interesting. Yeah, and it's and the bugs are bigger out here. There's little gecko lizards. There's all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just and then the new property. The main house is great. Very little needs to be done to it, but then there's a second barn dominium that is not complete. It has plumbing started, has electrical started, but just not very well done. I have to redo that. There's a guest cabin that we're going to convert to an office space, put a composting toilet in there, and make it as an additional guest space. There was a second little guest cabin that we're going to turn into a pantry because it's temperature controlled, but it's small and it doesn't really have room for a compost toilet. And then there's some other smaller buildings. We're getting the solar either installed. I'm going to have that put in. Still trying to determine all that. I mean, there's just so much going on. Still got to get my tractor here. Still got to get an ATV here. Just to get to this spot was about I don't know, quarter mile. If I go that way towards the house, that way towards the main road. If I go this way, it's all wooded and I got eaten alive by mosquitoes just walking down here. It's kind of weird because it's middle of the day. It's strange. Like right here, and it's fine. It's hot, no bugs. As soon as I hit that woods, man, the mosquitoes just come out. And there's some strange bugs out here that just, it buzzes like a mosquito, but it's nowhere near you. It's like a little bit further out. It's just kind of weird. But I mean, look, it's like the camera view just doesn't do it. I mean, these views are all around the house. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And we're so close to the Buffalo National River. It's literally maybe a mile in that direction. If I just took off that way through the woods in a mile, I'd hit it. By car, it's maybe 10-15 minutes away. So we're gonna, today we're still kind of settling in. Tomorrow we're gonna do some hiking, check it out. Just once my wife gets off work. Kind of learn that when my wife's working, I need to be outside, out of the house until we get her office set up. Because I think I was annoying her, so I gotta make the wife happy. So and keep her, you know, she's the money maker now. So I've got a list of things I got to do. There's just, the property had been very well maintained up until about a year ago, and there's lots of little things like low hanging trees. So I did overload our first trip here in the trailer, and I brought chainsaws, pole saw, you know, just you name it. I brought a lot of tools and things like that, and hopefully I'm going to start clearing up some of the stuff and getting some of the stuff figured out. Because like I said, when we first came to the property, so much weird stuff about rural living, especially in Arkansas. One of the first things look where I am. I mean, I'm literally not even joking, like in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's strange. But we have rural water, which is we pay for water, but the well is on an easement on my property. So that well gives water to, there's another neighbor, like, I don't know how far away, pretty good distance, maybe 3/4 of a mile that way. There's another one, maybe another 3/4 of a mile that way. I think it gives water to all of them. But what's funny is when we got to the property, we called the water company to make sure the water was on, you know, and then they said, oh yeah, you got water. We get here, the water's not working. You know, I'm used to wells on my property, like pressure tank in the basement, you know, all this. I find a shutoff, water shutoff valve in the house, and it's on, and nothing's working. So we're like, oh God, you know, it's a, oops. So we said, oh gosh, it's water's turned off. They didn't turn it on. And it was Sunday, and nothing's open Sunday out here, nothing at all. So looked around the property. I found the property has the two buildings, the main house and then the second house that's the barn dominium. And it actually has 2 meters. So then right by the meter, actually, the electric meter, on the ground, I saw 2 things that says water main, 1 and 2. Opened it up. It's like a hole that goes down 2 feet. And then there's a special tool that was laying there. It had a long rod with almost like a Y at the end of it. And I looked down there, and that Y would fit perfectly in the valve. And I went down there, stuck the tool down there, turned the valve to the open position, went inside, we had water. And then flipped the breaker for the water heater and took a shower. It was nice. The house is log cabin styled on the inside, but it has spray foam also on the exterior. It's a barn dominium, is what our main house is. It looks just like a barn dominium on the outside, but the inside looks like a log cabin. The walls are 1 foot thick. It's crazy. Like, it's spray foam, but I've never seen that much. It's 10 years old. So it's crazy. Like, we have a very, very small mini split that runs pretty long. Is it because it has to keep the house dry, but it's using very little energy, and it's just amazing how efficient that is. So yeah, but just so much to do yet. So, but this is just a quick, more or less to show the move. Like I said, if anybody's thinking about moving, it's going to be rough. I mean, it was literally the worst part, and it's still not done. We still have so much more stuff to get here, but we're now here full time. I'm gonna have to make some shuttles back while my wife's working during the week, pick up more loads. My brother's gonna help me. We're gonna rent a big box truck. We had a 5x10 enclosed utility trailer, and you can just barely fit anything in that thing. So, but yeah, hopefully this is helpful. My plan now that I have lots of time out here, I'd like to do 1 video a week of the property and the homestead and rebuilding it, and then 1 video also a week of just something fun we're going to do out here. The main purpose for us coming out here was to live where we want to vacation. And tomorrow my wife wants to go to the Buffalo River, and I'll do some documents of that. And also mixed in with that fun travel little video, I want to do some reviews. Lots of cool little gadgets and stuff that I like to tinker with, and for the survival prepping kind of stuff or off-roading stuff. And one of them, you know, like we brought it with just in case, because we don't have the solar hooked up yet. I do have EcoFlow system with some solar panels I want to test out, because that's all we have right now. Even the solar installer, when he came here, he was like, whoa. He goes, when the power goes out for you guys are going to be the last ones to get power back. And we're like, yeah, tell me about it. I mean, you can see the power line right there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a power line, and then it drops into the ground, because we're close to he was telling me something about National Forest. They've got to be buried. So once it gets towards our property, it's buried, which is kind of nice, because there's nothing by the house. It's about, I don't know, 1/4 mile, 3/4 mile that way. I took a walk down here because it's pretty neat. Way more or less stressful now, like after we did the initial move. So it's different, because there's a lot of work to be done, but at the same time, we're at our own pace, where the move was, we had a deadline. We had such a little amount of time to get out of our house. It was crazy. It was crazy, yeah. So, well, hopefully this was helpful. And then if you enjoy and you're new to this channel, please subscribe. If you're been watching since I quit my job or older than that, some people had been watching before that when my life wasn't as exciting. I don't even consider it exciting now, but it's I still got a lot of people back home like, holy cow, what did you guys do? You know, like people just think it's so strange, you know, but living free is the dream, you know, and yeah, it's not easy, but it's what do they say? Nothing ventured, nothing gained, you know, or as I really liked one of the original posts somebody posted, taking a leap of faith, you know, and that's exactly how I feel, because there was a lot of doubt the last couple days, couple weeks. I mean, it was doubting if we shouldn't have sold our other property, we should have stayed there, you know, all this. My wife's very happy here. I mean, she loves it. She was even saying, you know, she could just stay at the house all the time and be happy. Like, it's just, we have everything we need. It's just really nice. And then, you know, but at the same time, we're not very close. I mean, we are pretty close to some stuff. You know, a short drive, and we went the other day to the Ozark Cafe, which is kind of neat. It was a cafe that's been in business over 100 years. We got breakfast. I got biscuits and gravy, a giant orange juice, and, you know, not bad prices. And it was nice. And then the rest of the week, we didn't bring our chickens, but we brought a few dozen eggs to get us by. And then worst case scenario, we've got freeze-dried eggs that we made on our freeze dryer. But we should get resupplied from our old stuff soon. So I'm going to end it there. I'm going to go back to the house and probably finish cleaning, unpacking a little bit more. And then, yeah, thanks again. Until next time, bye.